Hey, 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 what's happening, everybody? It is Woe Daddy back in action here, and tonight we are going to be doing a fun drawing request from our buddy Andrew. So, shout out for you. He asked us to draw a while back Gramps from Demon Slayer. So, if you're not familiar who that is, it's actually Jigoro Kuwajima, and he is like the old Master Splinter, if you will, who trained Zenitsu and never gave up on his young pupils, and he always had a zest for bringing that next generation on. So what we're going to be doing tonight is we are going to be using a double-sided Sharpie. We're going to talk about using the fine point and using the broad point, just like I'm sure any old master would. So let's draw ourselves Gramps, get into the creation station, and check it out. All right, welcome back to the creation station. Tonight we're going to be using a square piece of paper, and we are going to be using a art marker from Shuttle Art, and it has a fine tip, which we're going to be starting off with, and we are going to be incorporating a broad tip. So we're going to start right in the center of our page with a nose, and we're going to angle slightly down, and we're going to make a shorter line. So we have two lines to start us off. Now, for the next section, we're going to build a nostril over here, and we're going to come down, up, down towards the middle, up again, down again, and back around again. So this is a pretty straightforward flow from one side to the other. Now, before we get into anything else, what we're going to do is we are going to kind of go over what we did, and we're going to come down and out with this super long mustache. We're going to fan outward, and then in, and we're going to come close to up, like that, kind of sweeping out. We're just going to kind of go brush, 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 with some little marks out like that. So we're going to try to mimic it pretty similar on the other side. So we're going to go up the nostril, and we're going to come down, back up again, a little wider out, a little wider here, and then in, and then in, and up to a point. All right, so similar looking. So we're going to make this similar looking and just kind of drag it like that. So not identical, you know, you want to make it look a little bit natural. What we're going to do next is we are going to imagine from like here to here, we're going to be throwing in a chin. So at this point, we're going to use our broad tip and go down and up. So all of a sudden, you should be noticing a different little bit of a focal point right in there. And what's going to happen is I'm going to go ahead and just go fine tip with like a little line curving down. This is going to be kind of the neck of his shirt. And so what we're going to do on this end, we're going to go down a little bit and come back up. We're going to make a shadow under the chin. We're going to go up towards the mustache. We're going to kind of come down and out to where the shirt would be. We're going to go a little bit lower, and we're going to come up the edge of the staff. And what we're going to do is we're going to fill this area in, just like that. All right, so we're actually use the thick line to sort of guide us, and then we're creating a little bit of shadow here. So I'm going to go ahead and along this edge like that, kind of create a little bit of movement. I'm going to make a thin line coming out, so I kind of take away from some of that thickness. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the edge of the shirt kind of curl in like that. So we have two edges sort of coming in there. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to bring this up right about like that. And we're going to do the same thing over here. So we're going to bring this up just a little bit. All right, and we're going to come back to that area in a little while. So what we're going to do now is we are going to take our broad point again, and we're going to go down, we're going to rock up, come back in with an eye, and then we're just gonna kind of round out a little circle right there. So we got a little bit of thickness on that side. Now on this side, we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna go down, we're gonna come up a little higher, and we're gonna get some thickness there, and we're gonna get our eye right in just like that. Now we're gonna come back and do some action in the face here in a minute, but we're gonna switch back to our fine point, and we're gonna make a little curve, and we're gonna mimic that curve on the other side going in the same direction. We're gonna make it go up a little higher and down a little bit lower. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring eyebrow stuff in here. So we're gonna have a really kind of wide eyebrow coming in like that, and then a little bit. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna sort of bring it down. Okay, now on the other side, we're gonna go very similar. We're gonna go right up above the eye, and zigzag, back and forth, get that eyebrow kind of pointing out, and then a little bit up here, a little bit down. We're gonna come right back, right into about there. So similar, but not identical. And then what we're gonna do, we're gonna get a little folds in the brow showing some of his age. All right, so you get like that, and then right up to the top, just like that. All right, now with the broad tip, we're gonna create a little bit of shadow here. All right, and then with the fine tip, we're gonna kind of make a very similar but open kind of shape. And that kind of represents a highlight. It kind of looks like a little bit of a yin and yang. All right, and we're gonna come in here and we're just gonna kind of go shadow, and that's gonna come down across, and then the same thing over here. We're gonna go a little more shadow, and then we're gonna come up here. So you can tell the shadow is coming across one side of the face, so it's not completely identical on both sides. And we're gonna go throw in a little shadow here, showing that the eye kind of sticks out a little bit, so it's creating some shadow. And go back in, add a little chin action like that. Now we're gonna bring the rest of the face up a little wide right here, and we're gonna bring an ear out. Kind of come down and point, and then bring it back up. And we're gonna start with our, I'll start with the fine tip. I'll go up here a little bit, try to get some ear action, make this, and then this is kind of where your ear sticks out, and then a little bit more right here. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna create some shadow inside of that with the broad tip, but we're gonna try to keep some of those points. So even though we're filling in, we're keeping some of the fine point, kind of like what we've done around the nose. Okay, so we wanna show a little bit of hair. So his hair is kind of slick back white hair that kind of frizzes out, all right, down towards the bottom. And then we're gonna bring a little bit of it right down over there. All right, what we're gonna do next is incorporate some shoulder, maybe a little triangle with some of the patterns in his robe that he wears. So we're gonna have a little triangle action right there. All right, and then we're going to get an ear coming down here, coming out. We're just gonna go off the page, gonna come right back in here, and then it's gonna dip down a little bit and connect to that side of the face. We're gonna kind of tighten that up. All right, same thing with this ear, except it's gonna be a little less shadow this time. We're gonna go in, we're gonna make a little bit of roundness and kind of pump it out. All right, and then we're gonna come back up, and we're gonna go in just like that. Now, we're gonna take our broad tip, and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do a little shadow on the bottom and a little shadow on the top, but not as much as on that side. So light, light, shadow, shadow. That's what we're showing here. Okay, then we're gonna get some hair, hair, hair coming around, and then the rest kind of history up there. We're going up top. We're going to have the side of his hairline right there, and we're going to continue it right there. So we got a little bit going up the side of the face. Now, there's a big deal happening over here, and that is shadow around the nose. All right, so we're going to create a little bit of that. I'm going to try to bring it down. We're going to get a little bit over here. But the main thing, 1, 2, 3 scars going up, coming out. 1, 2, 3 other halves of the scar on this side, and we're going to go ahead and fill that in. All right, it's going to go along with our shadow a good bit, and then we are going to tie in a little extra shadow above that with the scar. All right. On the other side of his cloak, we're going to bring down that to match right here, and then a little part of the triangle right there like that. All right, I'm going to put a little Gigoro, Goro, however you want to say it, K. All right, we're gonna sign our work with a different color tonight, so I'm gonna go ahead and get an orange, something kind of bright and colorful for our signature, and that did not work at all. Should test that one beforehand. There we go. Nope, another no. So always test your markers in advance. Third time's gonna be a charm, please. There we go. All right, get our little signature right there on the bottom. Little deuce deuce. And there you have it. There is Gramps from Demon Slayer. We hope you have enjoyed tonight's video. If you like what you see, please leave a comment to help us out with some more more content, and like and subscribe for more action. All right, have a great night.